Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. In the previous episode, we went through Dirk's testimony. Since Rayfa couldn't able to do the divination seance, she fainted. We went to his testimony, and we tried to figure it out. Who could the real killer be? And freaking, we fell into Garen's hands, and now they call out Rayfa again for a divination seance. So if you're hyped for today's episode, make sure you hit the like button. Your support's greatly appreciated. Now let's begin.
What? Oh no, we merely require your testimony this time.
Oh, I guess not. Of what? How can my testimony be of any value?
Your benevolence. Princess Rayfa seems awfully depressed. Oh, wrong voice. After what she's been through, summoning her again is like rubbing salt in the wood. Being unable to perform the seance was probably the last straw.
I hope she doesn't pass out again. Prosecutor Sanmati? May I ask you something? Of course, your benevolence. I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara? And about me? Are you adopted? From where did you hear such a thing? From Mother, and only yesterday. Rayfa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people. So I told her what the truth really was. Is she adopted? Oh well, this is just my freaking random assumption right there. Even if she isn't, oh well. But I'm just saying, I'm putting that up for grabs. For it is up to the mother to discipline her child. I see. Be as it may, your benevolence. It has no bearing upon our trial here today. So there is no need to let it trouble you. I know.
Garen told Rayfa about something other than Amara's status?
Sounds like it, but what could it be? Rayfa, the defense has proposed something preposterous. They somehow think your father was already there when Dirk entered the tomb. But I believe he can prove them wrong. Are you prepared to do what is required of you? Yes, I am ready to testify.
Very well then, your benevolence. Your testimony, if you please.
What Rayfa witnessed? Whoa, what we got here? On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second floor veranda.
Where is she at? Okay.
Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father heading for Amara's tomb. Then, about 2:44, I saw Barbhead and company enter the courtyard. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
Your second floor veranda?
This one right here. Oh, she must be talking about that house facing Inga's private residence. So that's the location from which you saw your father at about 2:30? Yes. And shortly after that, you people arrived at the royal residence.
So after the minister entered Amara's tomb at around 2:30, no one went in or out of there until the murder was discovered.
The tomb is closed to outside, so no one could have snuck in before the murder. That rules out any possibility of a third party lying in wait to slay my poor husband.
Or so she'd like us to believe.
Now hear me, you useless lawyer. Cease this charade and bow before me. For I, Queen Garad, shall finally have your head.
Forgive me, your eminence, but first, let us allow the defense to question the witness.
What?
what Rayfa witnessed. On the day of the murder, gazing upon the courtyard from the second floor. Okay. Around 2:30, saw my
Hold it!
Did your father seem different or troubled in any way?
Let me think. Oh, there was one unusual thing.
There was?
Yes, a shriek emanated from within my father's quarters. A shriek? After which I witnessed him bolt outside, his countenance drained out of its usual color.
He screamed and he was looking pale? What? What do you suppose happened?
I know not. Perhaps he had a bad dream.
Maybe it was a nightmare about being raked over the coals by the queen. Joke.
It seems our young lawyer here wishes to hasten his journey to the Twilight Realm.
Sorry, that was rude of me. Does the defense believe the witness' last statement to be important? Yes, it does. And then we can press on that. My father let out a scream and came dashing out of his room, his face pale. And why do you think he screamed? Was he surprised by someone who didn't belong there? Did anyone else come out?
I didn't see anyone else, just my father.
That last statement was seriously lacking in conviction. Should I press her on this? Press softly, press harshly! What is this BS? Let's go. Your benevolence.
Yes?
This incident was a real shock to us all. It must have been really terrible for you. But I want to let you know, I know how you feel.
Please stop. You presume too much.
It's times like these that you need something to take your mind off of things. Huh? How about we all go, what? Well, that didn't go. I think I have to press hard. Apollo, you have to take a more, yeah, harshly. Yeah, he's probably right. I mean, the girl is freaking struck. So what else do I want to do besides press her hard?
Hold it!
So press harshly. That's all we gotta do. I'm trying to think feelings here, you know, but no, that's not the right answer. Your benevolence. Let's have some details. The more, the better.
Details, you say?
Yes. For example, are you sure you didn't see anyone in the royal residence before 2:30? Well, is that a yes or a no?
Foreign devil! I've been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2 yesterday, yet I saw none other than my father. Oh, if only I had to stop him then.
I think you've struck a nerve, or rather, obliterated one. Maybe I pressed a... Oh my god, pick one side! So you didn't see... Please. I had been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2, but father was the only one I saw.
Hold it!
Is the royal residence always so empty?
Naturally, it is where the royal family lives, and we are a few in number. Besides Nana and the little birds who visit, I have no one else to talk to.
Is there anything more than stereotypically Princess Eve than talking to birds? Snow White? Cinderella? Beauty and the Beast? So Nana wasn't around at all yesterday?
It seems she was quite busy. I was all alone the entire day. It's been like that a lot lately.
Rayfa doesn't go to school, so she probably doesn't have any close friends. That's sad. She must lead a rather solitary life. That's sad. I guess being a princess isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Rayfa, I shall buy you a new servant. I don't want you to buy me a servant like some pet. I want Nina.
I'm beginning to see... I'm beginning to see why Rayfa turned out like she did. Your benevolence, please tell us about what happened after you saw your father.
Well, it was around...
Okay. Then I saw Barb and the others enter the courtyard. 2:45, yes, I believe that's around when we arrived. Mr. Wright, Athena, Dirk, and I were running toward the tomb.
Yes, I was taken aback, as we don't normally see commoners in the palace courtyard. Even more shocking was that Dirk, a wanted man, was with you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I thought the villainous leader of the Fire Dragons was here with his minions, because it was, you know, time for a revolution.
Oh, wrong boy. I think you've been watching too much of the TV show.
I have already banned its broadcast for containing content unsuitable for our kingdom. Besides, the actress playing Rayfa looked nothing like her. I can't have my soldiers feeling so disappointed when they see the real Rayfa. Mother! Why are you so cruel to me? Are you ashamed? Once I am all grown up, I shall be just as full figure as the actress.
She's placing all her hopes on one final growth spurt. For her sake, hope it's in her DNA.
I suppose you could always hope for a miracle.
So she is adopted?
I'll show you. I shall double my...
Oh no. There, your benevolence. I think you are fine just the way you are. Now, may I ask that you continue with the testimony?
I wish I could grow up.
Okay, last one. I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2.
Hold it!
Is it possible you missed seeing someone pass through?
No, my veranda has a commanding view of the entire grounds and I saw no one else.
But that doesn't seem right somehow.
How? Do not underestimate my daughter. She may be lacking elsewhere, but her eyes are the finest. Lacking elsewhere?
Your head? Talk about a mother I never wished on my worst enemy. She needs Nana now more than ever. Rayfa didn't see anybody in the royal residence area after 2 p.m. That's a really long time to just look at a courtyard. She was probably lost in thought. She's at the age where I'm sure she's got a lot on her mind. Okay, is there anything I can use right now? Let's see. Stab. Approximately 3 p.m. Diagram. 3DS, work with me. Hold up. Okay, stab with a knife. Jenga's button, discovering the ashes. We cannot do that. Painkillers. Inga's notepad. Purple, hat glasses. Tattoo. Let's see, 23 years ago. Picture taken around. I do not know what's the meaning of this. Albie's testament. At around 2 p.m., Dad slept out of a bazaar manhole, got yelled out by a dog and a warbard, and then threw a firecracker. The shocked look on Albie's face had Dad's in stitches when the police came along and detailed the rebel. The noise spooked Shadow, who ran off. When Albie caught up to him in the courtyard, Shadow had what looked up to be around 2 p.m.? Maybe we can use that. Maybe. Lamar's assassination file, blah 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 blah. We can't use that. I would say Albie's testimony right there. Oh yeah, she said something about a dog, didn't she? Around 2:30, saw Screaming Pale. I've been gazing upon. I saw no one going out after my father. Let's try this. But father was the only one I saw. About 2 p.m. I don't know where Albie's freaking timeline is, but let's try it.
Objection!
Yes! Let's go. Your benevolence. You're covering for someone, aren't you?
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rayfa, but you're not gonna like this. Well, the thing is, I have a statement here that you might find interesting. It's from a witness who claims that around 2 p.m. his dog got loose and ran into the palace courtyard. That's when the little fellow stole this hat from someone.
Ah, that's Nana's. I mean, nothing, never mind.
You're not helping the cause. You're not helping the cause.
You fool of a daughter.
It seems the princess made a blunder. So let me get this straight. This is Nana's hat, which means she had to have been in the royal residence around 2. If so, then you had to have seen Nana sometime after 2 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, no!
Please, your benevolence, tell us what you really saw.
It is as you say, Hornhead. I saw Nana, and I saw that dingbat dog steal her hat from her in front of my father's residence.
I knew it. Why didn't you say it in the first place?
Because my mother told me not to.
What? Would you care to explain, your eminence?
I requested she withhold said information, for it is of no relevance to this case.
Objection!
You don't get to
Insolence!
decide.
If you disagree, then prove that it is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, I will. Your benevolence, please tell us everything you witnessed when you saw Nana.
Alright.
What if she's really Queen Amara?
When I saw that dingbat dog attack Nana, I ran to help. I raced from my second floor veranda down into the courtyard.
Wait, that means that while you were coming down, you took your eyes off the courtyard.
Yes, but only for a moment.
This is a crucial testimony. If you took your eyes off the courtyard, it means somebody else could have entered the tomb without you ever knowing.
Ah!
Your benevolence, are you sure no one else was there?
Yes?
She's hiding something again. What about Nana? Were you able to help her?
When I got down to the courtyard, Nana she was gone.
Gone?
Yes, and I never saw her again after that.
Any idea what happened?
That dingbat dog must have gobbled.
Impossible. I seriously doubt that.
But how could Nana simply disappear while Rayfa wasn't looking?
Rayfa must know something. The only question is, what? Why Shadow was in the courtyard? Rayfa must know something. The only question is, what? Why Nana disappeared? Where Nana disappeared to? I'm guessing that. Do you have any idea where Nana disappeared to? I don't think we're gonna get penalized for this.
What do you mean?
Well, during the time you took your eyes off the courtyard, someone could have headed into the tomb. And it just so happens that Nana disappeared right at that moment.
No.
Wait, you think Nana had something to do with the murder? I don't think we can rule it out. It sounds like something had kept Nana occupied since the early morning. Plus, she was seen right before the murder, and then seemed to vanish into the thin air. You're right. And since she's Rayfa's attendant, she could come and go as she pleased within the palace grounds. I made a big old guess. Could Rayfa's attendant really be the killer?
But that would mean... First my father and now Nana? These were the people I trusted most. How could this be?
Objection!
Do not heed their lies. Lawyers are foul breed, quick to claim that a third party is to blame for a crime. Nana did not enter the tomb, that much is certain.
How can you be so sure?
When Nana's hat was stolen, that crazed cur spilled on an urn full of water upon my husband's doorstep. Is that not right, Rayfa? Yes it is.
Back again, once again.
While that dingbat dog was tugging on Nana's hat, it tipped over the urn. The bottoms of her shoes could have been soaked with water, and if she had truly headed to the tomb with wet shoes, she could have left shoe prints along the way. But the only shoe prints to be found belonged to my husband, Inga.
Huh? Then...
That's right, Nana never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters.
That's true. How do you know?
It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters. Shoe prints that belonged to Nana.
That's right. Edward and I did see some shoe prints in there.
Now do you understand? Nina could not possibly have gone into the tomb. And that supposed third person at the crime scene is but a figment of your imagination?
Another glorious deduction! All hail the genius that is Her Eminence, Queen God! Bow down before her glory, witless lawyer! You the Hayagara!
Could those guys fanboy any harder?
But is it really true?
Did Nana not go into the tomb?
Excuse me, but...
Mr. Wright?
Your benevolence, what time was it when that dog attacked Nana?
I believe it was about 2:15.
I see. Apollo, if Nana entered Inga's private quarters around 2:15, and Inga came racing out at 2:30, pale-faced and screaming, then...
I know what you're getting at! Yes, that might explain his scream.
Would the defense please show the theory regarding Justice Minister Inga's scream?
Certainly, Your Majesty. Minister Inga screamed because... he was attacked by Nana? Yeah.
Yo, are we gonna get penalized for either one of these two?
Let's try this. Maybe he saw a ghost. Maybe even a bunch of ghosts, like from all the people he sentenced to death. Yeah, that did not make sense. Really?
I don't know where I was going with this.
That did not make sense. That did not make sense at all.
If you're not careful, Your Benevolence,
that did not make sense.
Like, I was still going to the idea that Nana is freaking Amara, but that's just a wild guess right there.
So that may not be it. So back to the drawing board, so it could be the middle.
Yeah, you're right. It's the middle.
It's the middle. It has to be.
Maybe he was attacked by Nana. This would make this would make the Justice Minister's private quarters the real scene of the crime.
What? Does your idiocy know no bounds? The minister's body was found in the tomb. Or are you suggesting that the body was moved?
Do I think the minister was moved from his private quarters? I think the possibility exists. Considering the fact that the body was found in the tomb, I say there is a possibility.
What utter nonsense! Rayfa has been watching the courtyard. Yet you would suggest that someone could have transported the body unnoticed?
So no. In that case, I'd say there's no way the body was moved. After all, there was an awful lot of blood in the tomb. I understand if the scream was in reaction to Nana's attack, but Inga died in the tomb. We need to explain how those two realities concede. Whatever. How are we supposed to do that? Oh, maybe. Maybe where he was stabbed and where he died were two completely different locations. What do you mean? It's just, let's look at this simply as possible. If the minister's body wasn't moved, he might have been stabbed by Nana in his private quarters, but then died in the tomb. Huh? On the one hand, that seems plausible, but on the other, it seems decidedly implausible.
Prosecutor Samai, what is that fool babbling on about now? Is this a riddle from one of those fortune cookies Americans seem so fond of?
Perhaps, but I believe him.
But I believe he himself does not know what he says. In all likelihood, it was a poor attempt to confuse us. We should simply ignore him.
Objection!
I wasn't finished yet, so hold off on the analysis, would you?
The autopsy report never stated that the minister's death was instantaneous, so he could have conceivably moved from one place to another after being stabbed.
Oh my, are you suggesting he ran all the way to the tomb with a knife sticking out of his back?
Well, yes, that's the gist of it.
In short, Minister Inga saw Nana with a knife, let out a scream, and when he turned his back to her to flee.
Right, and that's when he was stabbed from behind.
Well, Your Majesty, does my theory hold water?
Such insolence!
How dare you bore me like this?
Huh?
You are a humorless moron, spewing an endless stream of unmusing drivel.
I wasn't trying to be funny, Your Eminence.
Prosecutor enlightened his ignorant clown in lawyer's clothing. Your Eminence.
Ha!
Nayuda! You dull, slow-witted, putrid-minded lawyer. Perhaps you would be too stupid to notice you had been stabbed in the...
What? Stabbed in the what? Hold up! Stabbed in the what?
In the back. What a normal person would have noticed due to excruciating pain.
Now hold on!
Allow me to teach you the meaning of pain. Ah! Please stop!
Nayud has a point. Normally, most people would notice a dagger in their back.
Ow! Yeah, I doubt someone could ignore pain like this.
Still, in this case, it's the word normally that we should emphasize.
Painkillers!
Apollo, take another look at the court record.
Right, there must be something that explains this. Painkillers!
There's a reason Inga didn't feel any pain, and the defense would submit evidence proving just that. Very well, please present your evidence. Why didn't just admit... Whatever.
We got it. It's painkillers.
Take that!
Ah! Those are my father's painkiller shots.
The defense will explain the significance of this evidence.
Minister Inga suffered from terrible back pain, so he often injected himself with these.
We're told that one shot in the back would make all his pain go away.
With this, it's easy to explain what happened.
Don't tell me you didn't know about these, Your Eminence.
You can't mean.
Minister Inga was stabbed in his back, close to where he usually injected the painkiller. Therefore, it's entirely possible that he hadn't noticed that he'd been stabbed.
What?
What's this? I'm surprised I'm not using that guide right now. Dad! I suggested Justice Minister Inga really ran off with a knife protruding from his back. I am, Your Majesty.
So then, when I saw my father, he had a knife sticking out of him? I mean, with that cape of his, I couldn't see his back very well.
Yes, the knife was there. It was just plunged in so deep you didn't notice it under the cape. Therefore, when you saw your father, he was already dead. Murdered by Nana in his private quarters.
Pakuka!
So then, Derek removed the knife that was really in his back? Holy Mother Khura'in! Are we dealing with the living dead here? Well, technically, he wasn't dead yet. I know it's hard to believe, but this is a possible sequence of events. And once Minister Inga arrived at the tomb, he could have removed the knife and dropped dead from blood loss.
Nana killed my father? There must be some mistake.
The defense would like to call Nana to the stand.
You seek to drag an innocent old woman to the stand with no proof whatsoever.
Well, there's no real proof, but...
Huh. What a tangled web of impudent lies you weave.
we don't even know where she's at.
I can no longer tell fact from fiction. Who or what shall I believe in now?
I'm sorry, Rayfa. All I've done is confuse you. But I have a sneaking suspicion Nana's involved in this case one way or another. Just when I thought we'd blown this case wide open, well, there's no turning back now.
You fool of a lawyer. I know why you're so desperate to prove the accused innocent.
You do?
Yes, because he faces public execution if proven guilty, as shall you under the stipulations of the DC Act. From the moment you accepted this case, you have no choice but to fight for your lives.
No. The simple fact is I've always believed that Dirk is innocent.
Bah! Still you cling to your pretense. Very well, I shall offer you a bargain. If you would admit that the accused is guilty right here, right now, I shall overlook your crime of abetting him, and you will not be subject to execution.
Is this some sort of joke?
Far from it. As queen, I have the power to grant pardons, even to criminals like you. And with that wave of my hand, I can even reduce the severity of a sentence. Perhaps even for Dirk, should you be willing to cooperate.
She wasn't kidding when she said that she's the law here. But to flaunt that power in our faces like that, that's just wrong.
Forget all that has transpired in our kingdom and return to your own country in peace. Well, will you abandon your offense of the accused and accept my generous offer?
If I don't take this deal, we'll be executed along with Dirk if he's found guilty. We have no other choice but to continue defense. Nice try, Garan. But it looks like you don't know what justice is made of. We won't know... What? We won't kowtow to threats like that, Your Eminence. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but I can't back down now. I don't want to drag you into this, so... Don't worry, I'm with you, Apollos, to the bitter end, if need be. And while I can't say I'm used to it, this isn't exactly my first rodeo. Back to the first episode or so. So keep on fighting, Apollo. You'll hear no objections from me.
You nincompoops! You'll die if you lose this case. Why would you even entertain the notion of continuing?
I believe that Dirk is innocent. That's why. And besides, trials exist to give the truth a chance to get out into the open. You can't give up just because you're afraid of some punishment.
Even if that punishment is death, does that not frighten you, hornhead?
Who wouldn't be scared? I mean, just thinking about it makes me weak in the knees, to be honest. But as a lawyer, I have a duty to protect my client. I can't just abandon that.
A duty you're willing to die for? And yet,
Duty. It's a heavy burden, alright. Rayfa looks like she's really struggling. Maya. Can we just speed things along? I don't like flashbacks. Can we please speed things along? But it's no surprise, considering the torrent of painful truths she had to face. Very well then. If the defense is prepared to face the death sentence under the DC Act, and I see no reason not to continue with the proceedings. But I must admit, I see no grounds for doubting the accused's guilt.
Unless the defense has further evidence that would indicate a different suspect. We do? Do we have anything like that? Well, lawyer, do you have any new evidence you care to present? Or shall I have the executioner start his preparations? If she thinks I can do this, she's got another thing coming. But first, I have some serious thinking to do. We do? I'll end up today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen, because I have clearly no idea who the suspect is. But make sure to like button, comments, performance. If you're new, beer like to see, subscribe, and this is Rock6T, and I'm signing out.